Hello my dear viewers, in this video I'll be talking why Cyberpunk 2077 is my favorite game. My most favorite game of all time and my most favorite game I've ever played. And to start out with, I want to start with the graphics. In my opinion, this game has the most amazing, pretty and just overall realistic looking graphics of the games that I've ever played. Especially, if you put the settings higher or download a mod that enhances the weather, makes it more prettier and dynamic. It looks beautiful. The game overall is just a beautiful looking game. And not only is it a beautiful looking game, it also has a beautiful and interesting city where a lot of things happen. Bad stuff, good stuff, but mostly bad stuff. Like there's this game in the intro, and people of neighborhoods or residents have to guess how many people died in said residence, and if you guess it right, you win a prize. So that's why the intro is like that when you fire up the game. I also like the city because of the atmosphere it gives, the vibes, the structures, and the neon lights. Just the lighting itself and attention to detail, what people are doing, the gigs that are available, and just the free roam events that are occurring in the city. And I also want to start talking about the vehicles and cars, because, well, I'm a car enthusiast, so I at least have to rate it. And what I can say, it sounds pretty good. It sounds pretty good. It can be better, but I can't really complain about the car sounds. And of course they sound good to me, but I especially find them good looking. Because they just fit the theme of the game, the city, everything. Like how they look like, especially the details inside the car, like the gauges and the screens. Makes it feel like the Batmobile in some sort of way, which I like. I really like that. And to get more of the style of the game, it gives me a 80s type of vibe combined with the future, and this game did that really well. I really like the style of this game. And not only is the game styleful, but your character can also be styleful, because you can customize a lot. Really, a lot. Like eye colors, hair colors, you name it, you can customize it. Which is a good thing if you want to personalize your V to your own liking. So you can go wild on character customization. And besides that, I want to talk about the guns. The guns do be interesting looking, do fit the game as well. They're fun to use, although not some of them do not make sense. Like how they fire or how their mechanism works. It doesn't really make sense. But yeah, I can see some gun guys or people that like guns be like, well that isn't right. I'm with you. It doesn't really look right, but mostly they are fun to use and they're pretty cool looking. And about city, it's also dystopian with a lot of interesting stories and characters that you connect with. You make a bond with them. You reconnect with them. The characters are immersive from the get-go, basically, and that's a good thing. The game does that really well. Immersive characters, also side characters, and people you meet along the way in the story. And not only is the city dystopian and dangerous, it's also corrupt. Very corrupt, with loads of corporations that don't give a shit about you. Which you can see because people do be laying on the street helplessly and no one will help them. Trauma team just doesn't really care about you unless you got a lot of eddies. And besides the city, the map also has a few Easter eggs. Well, more than a few, but I only found 3 in the time I played. Which is a Fallout reference near the desert, the Batmobile in one of the missions with avocados, which like is a blacked out modern Bugatti. It's a cool car. You can get it for free. And of course, in the stadium in Dogtown, by the gun vendor, there is a weapon crate with the name John Wick on it. And of course, Johnny is played by the same guy that plays John Wick, Keanu Reeves. So, of course, they had to put it in there. And now, I want to talk about Cyberware. Also a strong point of this game. Strong feature, if you will. To me, they are just sick and fun to use and fun to play with. See what type of build fits your playthrough, playstyle I mean, and you can use a lot. Personally, I am more of a stealth person, so I use a Sendevistan and the Mantis Plates, so I can slow down time, kill enemies quickly, and just do sick takedowns on them, and it feels rewarding to use them. Or you can go all crazy and just use cannon arms instead of Mantis Blades, and overall more healing power, so you can just stay in the fight longer without taking cover. And whatever your playstyle is, I think there's a Cyberware that fits your needs. And besides that, you can also choose from 3 different life paths for your V. You got Street Kid, you got Corpo, and you got Nomad, each with their own intro and dialogue options throughout the game. And to get back to the Cyberware, I might have some recommendations for you if it's your first playthrough. So if you like stealth, I would use Mantis Blades and Sendevistan. If you want a more tanky build, you can just put some more healing implants and instead of Mantis Blades, cannon arms. Or you can combine the two and use cannon arms and the Sendevistan. Cannon arms of course for chaos, and the Sendevistan to slow down time and take down enemies silently with a gun with a suppressor or another melee weapon. And now I want to talk one of my favorite points of the game. Well, favorite person, and that's Johnny Silverhand, played by the awesome Keanu Reeves. Because he's funny, he's good company, interesting story and character development, and he does make some valid points throughout the story. And he's part of a samurai band in the game, which is my most favorite songs in the game itself. Because they have a story, I like the rock, I like the vibe it's given off, and when you hear the song, you're just ready to kill any gonk in your way. So, it's just an immersive and vibeful songs. And of course, one of them has a story, well, more of a story, but to give an example, the song Never Fade Away, it's about losing alt. Well, more likely Johnny Silverhand losing alt. Because, reckless and more thinking about himself, not really thinking about his crew. So, consequences. It's about his consequences. And that's why I like the song so much. Now I kind of want to tell you about the story, not too much. So, a bit of spoilers, not that much though, because I want to keep it short and simple. Because, yeah, that's how I just like it. It works fine for me. So, so you are a merc named V, who would have guessed, with a best friend Jackie, and a netrunner named T-Bug, and a fixer named Dexter, which of course, for the people that play, is the most dogshit fixer, the worst. But you don't know that yet in the beginning of the story. Anyway, you guys are gonna try to pull off a heist in the Konpeki Plaza Hotel, run by Arasaka, to steal a relic that is very, well, worth a lot, so to say, worth a fuck ton. But the heist goes horribly wrong, killing T-Bug and Jackie in the progress, while you barely survive. And with the relic nowhere else to go, you have to put it in your head. But that relic has Johnny's psyche on it, his conscious. So after you healed up a bit, you start to see him, because Johnny's, well, imprint, well, no, Johnny's psyche is taken over yours. So now you and Silverhand are trying to find a way to survive, for both of you to survive, and the time is ticking. With the further you progress in the story, the more dramatic it gets, and severe, like to a point where, well, you can't do much unless you don't meet Hanukkah at Embers. Whatever you do, don't meet Hanukkah at Embers. Nah, just kidding. Partly. Anyway, you guys are trying to survive and meet very cool characters along the way that need your help. And like that, you earn reputation, and more gigs will be available to you. Do know, if you tend to screw up missions or make the wrong choices, the characters will remember that. It's not like one of those games where you commit crime, or you fail a mission and you just continue and don't replay it. They tend to remember that, so keep an eye out on that. And it's just interesting to see how V and Silverhand create a bond with each other. Like, if you choose the correct dialogue options, they can be great buddies. And now, I want to start talking about my favorite part of the map, and that's Dogtown. An apocalyptic city, which is also corrupt and dystopian, and a victim of the big corporate war. So to say, like NUSA, Arasaka, Militech, those type of corporations. And of course, it's part of DLC with another great story. In my opinion, the best DLC story I've ever played, because it catches my interest the most. Like, it really fits me. Why? Well, because it gives me a CIA and Black Ops kind of vibe, and I tend to love those type of CIAs, It's really covert operations, extraction type of stuff, stealth, and I'm all for it. And the characters that are being featured in said DLC are also just great. You got like Solomon Reed, a sad and dark character who was betrayed by the very person you are trying to save. Eventually, first. Well, let me just say this first. He's being betrayed by the very person you are trying to save at that time, but still loyal to the dirty new United States of America. Why? Well, because they kinda did him dirty. They did not really help him after he got betrayed. And then you got Rosalind Myers, a corrupt president of the new United States, who only cares about herself. And if you picked, well, there's of course only bad endings, but if you picked a really bad ending, yeah, she really notices you. You really notice that she only cares about herself, because yes, you did help her at that ending, but she only gives you like 5,000 eddies, which is nothing, especially with RAM prices nowadays. Other parts. Anyway. And then you got Songbird, the strongest and coolest netrunner, the one that betrayed Reed, and also the one that you are trying to save. But she needs your help because she's also dying. Bit of the same fate as V, although it's not with the relic, but the black wall is just corrupting her. I could be wrong, because I'm doing this on top of my head, so some details could be wrong, but I'm just winging it. With Kurt Hansen holding her hostage for his own benefit, for like a super weapon that can access the black wall and do some very great damage, and give Kurt Hansen the upper hand to rule the rest of Night City. And who is Kurt Hansen? Well, he's a strong and smart leader of Dogtown, aka Barghast, after going rogue because he wants more power. He's really power hungry, and he shows that through his strong military, and he's not easy to fool. He's a formidable opponent, so to say. And besides of those characters, you got Solomon Reed's friend, Alex. Chill and a cool agent who was also a casualty of Songbird's betrayal. And in that story, it begins like Songbird is reaching out to you through the relic because he needs your help to save the president, because the president is crashing into Dogtown and she wants your help to save her. So you do that, but then the story really unfolds. You discover that Songbird is also dying and she needs your help. But she is held captive by Kurt Hansen. So you, Solomon Reed, the president, and Alex are, scouting and looking how to save her. And in a way that gives off a CIA covert Black Ops type of vibe, like stealth, off the radar, off the books. And it's just really interesting to see how that story unfolds and how it will end. Because what I also love about this game, and probably more people, is that this game has multiple endings, which I've done almost all of them. Hence why I love this game so much, because the replayability is just great. I replayed it a bunch of times, even though it's only like 115 hours, not that much, could be more. But yeah, and those points are my main points. I also have like smaller reasons and points why this game is so great for me and why it's my most favorite game I've ever played. And I'll start with the thing I'm very good at, and it's also a hobby of mine, which are taking very sick screenshots. I'll be displaying them here on the screen so you can see, but the screenshots in this game are just sick. And with that I mean the picture mode, because you can change your pose, zoom in, zoom out, of course, just the basic stuff, but besides that you can change the weather, the time, the pose, the background. You can really play around with it, and you can make some really cool shots anywhere actually around the map. And that's just a hobby of mine in the game. My second hobby is just cruising around Night City and Dogtown in modded cars or the vanilla cars that are in game, and just relax and see how much detail and life drama the city has, and it's just great to see. And of course the game is also known for its major mod support. Major. Like myself, I am currently using 77 mods, most of which are graphics and just improvements. So you got mods that graphically up the game, make it more pretty, sharper, and upscale some textures that are not really good looking. You got mods that change the water to more pretty and tropical way. And you got, modded cars, and they look very nice, some of which has their own unique sound. And you can just mod the game to your wishes and see how different it is from vanilla. And I could definitely recommend you to install some mods if you can, because it do be worth it. It's also interesting to see. And of course, besides those mods, you have also gun mods that, for example, John Wick's Pit Viper or the Honey Badger, and they're also fun to use. Although they do be a bit unfair because they are kind of overpowered, so I would recommend use them outside of the story to try them out. So yeah, and also one of my favorite mods is just character customization. I like my V very military, armored, tactical. It's more my style of how I want my V, and I think that's just great. A thing I forgot to mention is that the story is also emotional, especially near the end, because in Night City there are no happy endings, nor in the DLC. And besides that, I think this game is just visually stunning, with great replayability. Like, not only there are multiple endings, but also multiple builds and multiple dialogue options. So you can just go crazy. Each time, each playthrough is different, and that also makes this game unique. And if you like Cyberpunk so much, I have good news. There is a anime series of it called Cyberpunk Edgerunners. It's really good. I can definitely recommend it if you haven't watched already. There's a second one in the making, second season I mean. So yeah, that's it. I thank all of you for watching. I know sometimes it's not really coming out that fluently, or I don't know, not that good sounding, or I make mistakes, or I repeat myself. But if you have made it this far, thank you, and I wish you chums a very nice day. Till the next one.